Record to the cloud. All right. Hello, everybody. This is our production readiness review sub-project meeting for January 24th. Okay, let's get started. Let me show the agenda. Okay. Well, I was just saying before the recording started, I do want to congratulate Joe for becoming an approver. And we will then jump into the agenda, which is relatively short. Somebody added a second bullet, so I'm going to ask them to go first, and then we'll go through the board. So what is the issue here? Or
I started looking through the board and I noticed that I was not able to set myself as an assignee for specific text that I was looking at as a PR shadow. I reached out to the SIG release team, and what they told me is that they're basically adding access right to all the PR approvers. There's even a link in the teams, and they asked me about whether we have a team for shadows, which I responded that we don't.
Right.
But I requested them that we will add all the shadows that I was aware. So Mo, myself, CC, and well, Joe, they added Joe as well because that was
Right.
after they added him initially to add the edit rights. So the question is, can we just make sure that this is happening for the next time around? For now, we have all the shadows with the access. And for 131, we'll just need to make sure that there exists a team for shadows, and we'll have to maintain it. And for the SIG release, it'll be easier because they will just grant the access to the team.
There's a reviewers team which contains shadows and approvers. So we should be able to use that. Yeah, it's just below the other team.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I think, yeah, we added this. I think this came up in the past release, and we added probably this shadow team. Now it may not all be correct.
We probably need to update it. Like we can drop variant, but not super important since it's just being used for access to the dashboard.
Right. Okay. Andrew hasn't participated for a while either. Okay.
Okay. I'll point the SIG release teams to use this one, and we'll just need to make sure. I pinged Joe so he adds himself to the production readiness because
that was I just sent that out
at the time. Yeah. So I noticed that this was a thing. So I was like,
yeah. I think Joe has a PR out for that.
Yeah, so that's basically
Joe, we congratulated you before you joined, and then I offered my condolences as well.
Yeah, I think both are in order.
Okay, awesome. Thank you much. Okay, so then the thing really I wanted to do today was primarily just let's take a look at what's on the board so far. I looked briefly before the meeting. It looks like there's about 40 keps so far. It's probably going to double, I would guess, in the next week from that, if past experience is accurate. And half of those will be from Node, it seems like, based on the meeting the other day. So let's see. And Ben, it's good to see you here. All right. So I think for the most part, the board review is something we do asynchronously. Like we don't need to go through it all here. This is more almost just a nudging opportunity. But if there are any that like somebody has looked over or knows they want to do shadowing on, just jump in. So like I said, there's about 40 so far. But I don't think it's worth everybody's time, honestly, to just sit here and go through all these. So I don't want to take everybody's time to do that. I'd rather people go through it asynchronously. But if there's anybody wants to call out now, I'm getting more involved in nodes, so I've often taken some node ones in the past, but I'll probably take some node ones again because I'll be looking at them anyway. From an approver standpoint, but like from a shadow, is there anything anybody wants to discuss or questions they have? Let me know.
I did notice I started going through some of the caps I already assigned. I've reviewed 3 of them. I noticed that there's a bunch of caps or enhancements that people want to work, but there's no actual cap yet linked with an issue. But the issues are already lined up there. There's been a couple of them like that.
Okay.
That I noticed. So yeah, just double check if there's an issue before. And I was like, oh yeah, if there's no PR for actual update, it doesn't make sense for me to assign as a shadow, especially that I'll be out next week.
Yeah, well, a lot of those probably won't make it, right? So we're still
That's the other thing.
Even though it's only 2 weeks away, we're still a little early, right? It's like people are still prepping. So
there's I've noticed 3 which were very well written. Well, the contextual logging is probably the most concrete, most well with regards to the shape and form. The other one were mostly, we want to promote to stable, and we're just changing labels from beta to stable. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna fly.
Okay. Yeah, then I don't have anything more to discuss unless somebody else does. I will say once again that for shadows, some of you summarized your past work and looked at it against the criteria. I would recommend that before you make your selections, you do that process if you haven't already, and then guide your selections based upon hitting the criteria. But beyond that, I don't want to take everybody's time to discuss things if it's not necessary.
I don't mind being a shadow indefinitely. It's low pressure and it's fine. I just really like reading the caps. It's a good
I agree with Han. It sounds like a good strategy.
Well, remember, just because you're an approver doesn't mean you have to take an equal share of the load, right? Like this is a collaborative effort, and what you can give, you can give. So don't make the joke about condolences. It doesn't actually have to be true, right? Like if you can only do 5, that's fine. Like as a team, we have to cover it, right? But you can do what you can do.
I don't know. If I was on the list, I would probably feel some sense of responsibility, and that would play a role.
Wait, didn't you tell me you were going to commit? If Joe did it, you would commit to doing it. And I see that
now I'm in trouble.
Memory from Chicago. And here you're going to leave Joe.
I have done a lot of shadow reviz. Let me wait one cycle. The cycle is a little bit intense, and you know why, John. It's a little much this release cycle.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Maybe next cycle.
Okay. All right. Anything anybody else wants to talk about, or shall we wrap it up? And I would ask that people do, like, we only have 2 weeks, right? Like 2 weeks from tomorrow, I think. So like
every day is a percentage.
Yes, exactly. Like, I mean, it's a little tough because, right, really all of the work comes in that last week for the most part, but anything you can get a head start on is going to make life easier. So yeah, try to get in there.
Well, and that's for the, which freeze is that? That's for the total PRR freeze or just for when we're getting them all in?
2 weeks is the total. It's kept freeze.
Okay.
8,
so
right?
I mean, really we want shadowing done more like this week.
Yeah, but there's not enough in here for you guys to do it, right? Like, I mean, yes, any you can shadow now. I think, am I right about that? That's 2 weeks from now, right? The 31st or the 25th, and then the 1st, and then the 8th. Yeah, the 8th is kept freeze.
Yeah,
It's just proportionally less valuable to try to shadow when it's creeping up to the deadline anyhow.
Yes. Yes.
I remember this. There's unfortunately like I would go through and like look and realize that I couldn't do anything as a shadow like a couple times, and then all of a sudden there was work to do, and there's no time left. I don't know. It's just how it is.
Yeah, so just prepare to block out, the first couple days in that week, right? The 1st of February around there. Because that's going to be like that little tiny window is going to be the best time to shadow because you'll have enough meat on the bones of the caps, but enough time to react.
It's a very short window.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
So are you saying that you would recommend going next week?
I would recommend. I would recommend.
If you need to plan
This
ahead
week,
for time,
okay.
yeah.
Here's what I suggest. Some of these may be ready. My guess is it's less than half, and this is less than half of what we're going to actually have, right? So we're talking about maybe 25% tops are ready for a shadow review right now today, and that might be optimistic. So but what I would recommend is take this today and tomorrow and the next day this week to go through the criteria, go through your past ones and find the gaps, and then take a look at what every day there's going to be more on here. Just like we're in the phase where these are loading up. So find any that fill the gap that you can grab now that look ready, and then you're going to have to check basically starting next week every day to see what's come in, because it's going to be, and once you've picked your handful that you're going to do, then you're gonna need to check, have a reminder to check every day if anybody's made progress. Like there's no other real way to do it because it's just so asynchronous. And then anticipate that the Monday before the cap freeze, like that week could be pretty intense. And for shadowers, that Monday is probably going to be one of your best days to get real impact in.
The 5th.
Yeah, just because just the reality of like the week before, people there'll be some opportunities, like things will be in pretty good shape probably by Monday for most of the caps, and there's still enough time. Like Wednesday is not really great for shadowing because like where there's so much urgency that the approvers are going to be just in there trying to hammer away at it, right?
I'm like preemptively blocking my calendar now with like I'm looking at keps this afternoon, and then I'm going to be reviewing them on the 5th.
Exactly, and of course it's at the same time you're probably reviewing keps for other reasons. So.
Right. Cool.
Okay.
Happy Wednesday.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. And if we need to meet, like if we need to have an extra meeting, like because we're getting close to it, we can do that next week. We'll just do that on Slack. And if we decide there's like some topic questions, sometimes there's ones that are puzzling, and we want to discuss it real time. Okay. Thank you all. See you later.
Yep.